Hello students, once again welcome back to our English class. Today we are going to do the question answers of the sonnet A Sea of Foliage written by Toru Dutt. This is a sonnet because a sonnet is a poem with 14 lines and this poem has 14 lines, so this is a sonnet. Now let's move to the question answers. So the first question is, this poem describes a garden at two different times. What are those times and how do you know? So the answer is, the poet describes the garden in the daylight and at night. This is evident from the description of the different shades of green seen in the foliage, which is visible only in the sunlight. Then she talks about the moon peeping between the bamboo trees. This indicates that it is night. Now the second question is an extract. A sea of foliage, but not a sea of dull, unvaried green. Let's see what the first question is. Why is the foliage compared to a sea? So the answer is, the foliage is compared to a sea because it appears as vast and endless like a sea. But unlike a sea, which has an unvarying shade of green throughout, the foliage in her garden has different exciting and contrasting shades of green. This breaks the dullness seen in the sea. The second question is of the same extract. How is the sea not of dull, unvaried green? Give an example of how the green varies. And the answer is, just one type of plant everywhere like the sea, which remains unchanged, will be dull. But in the poet's garden, there are varieties of plants with different colors and textures, which could be a sea of foliage around her garden. Her garden is filled with different, exciting and contrasting shades of green, like light green of tamarind trees, deep green of mango grove, and grayish green of palms. Now the third question of the same extract is, what effect does the variation have on the garden and the speaker? So the answer is, the variation brightens the look of the garden, which would have looked dull otherwise. The poet's spirit is also lifted looking at the contrasting shades of green. Now let's move to the third question. Why does the speaker consider the scene among the bamboos the loveliest spot in the garden? What effect does this beauty have on her? And the answer is, the scene among the bamboos is the loveliest spot because the beautiful silver moon peeps between the tall grey bamboos and shines dazzlingly on white lotuses, making them look like silver cups glowing in the pool. This beautiful sight is so intoxicating that the poet feels drunk with the amazing beauty of the scene. She almost feels dizzy. Now let's see the last question. The white lotus changes into a cup of silver. What does this mean? And the answer is, this means that while lotuses are gleaming like silver cups when the moon shines on them. So children, these were the question answers of the sonnet A Sea of Foliage written by Toru Dutt. And that's all for today. In the next video, we'll meet with another chapter. Till then, goodbye.